Bill, some forced changes and some changes in your side. Can you just talk us through them, please?
Yeah, well, obviously Xavier Coates and Murray Taulagi, they'd picked up injuries over the last couple of weeks, so unfortunate for those two guys. And we get the opportunity to bring Dane Gagai in. Selwyn Cobbo, he comes in also. Fortunate to have the luxury of those guys to bring into the footy team. And Jaden Sewer's probably the other guy that's probably a little bit unlucky not to be in the team, but he's nursing a few issues as well, getting a scan as we speak on an issue he picked up over the weekend. But this is the team that we feel is our best football team going into this game. It's a big game. 1-1 in the series and the decider here at home, which is pretty exciting.
It's quite prophetic, Billy, when you talked about Dane Gagai 2 weeks ago. You said he might be back in the team someday, and now he is.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be back in the team?
Yeah, it's we all know what Dane Gagai brings. We all know how important this footy team is to Dane Gagai. He's played more than 20 Origins. He's a very passionate Queenslander, and he's playing wonderful footy at the moment. So, he wasn't just here just for the sake of being here last camp. He was here for a reason, and really excited to see him back in a maroon jersey.
So what's the situation? Callum back too, Billy. I mean, he made his debut in the same position, sort of, that you've got him here on the bench where you've named him. Is that the role you see for him again? It's almost like it's come full circle for Callum for this role.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Kalen, the last couple of years he hasn't been available. It was game 3, 2022, the last time he was available playing here at Suncorp. So it was great to see him back on the field yesterday, and he hadn't really skipped a beat. Obviously done a lot of work, at training and a lot of physical work to get himself in the condition that he's in. And we feel that that's the best thing for the footy team to have him in the side.
Bill, there's a lot.
Kind of steamrolled, practicing game 2. What makes you confident that this bench is going to get enough to go toe-to-toe with the Blues?
Yeah, to be honest, the changes personnel-wise aren't going to fix what happened in game 2. We need to really go after our footy and make sure that we have an even share of possession, make sure our discipline's on point, that we're not putting more pressure on ourselves, and that's important for us to go after this camp, because it is a different game, but we need to make sure it's different with our actions.
Do the boys need to find a bit of muscle?
I think it's probably more the footy side of things. That's where we got caught on the back foot. We didn't have enough football in the first 20 minutes of the game, and then it snowballed against us. Like I said after the game, it's a really tough game to play. You add fatigue to that, it's near impossible. So we need to help ourselves.
Bill, there was a bit of talk about yesterday and that Josh Papali'i might have been looked at to come back in, and also how unlucky is David Fafita not to be in this side?
Yeah, well, Dave was a serious consideration. But we feel that the 17 players that have been chosen are the 17 players that have earned the opportunity to be here. All Queenslanders are considered, and Dave's a name that has been in the conversation for all games. Like I said, at the start of the series, he started the season a little bit behind the 8 ball with a pec injury. He didn't have a great pre-season, and he's still working back to the standard that he created for himself last year. And I'm sure he'd be the first one to admit that. And these conversations aren't just throwaway conversations that we have behind closed doors. And this is the 17 that we feel is the best 17 for Game 3 at Suncorp.
Billy, what's your situation with the Hookers? You've got Reid Marnie in the squad. Obviously, is there some doubt over Harry? Or?
No, Harry's pretty good, to be honest. He hasn't played the last couple of weeks for the Storm, so his last game was Game 2 Origin. He's in a pretty good place. To be honest, we feel Reid's really earned this opportunity. Where the Bulldogs are sitting isn't any fluke. They're doing a lot right, and Reid Marnie's a big part of that. He made 69 tackles on the weekend and played nearly 90 minutes. So he's a wonderful player. Born at the same hospital as myself, actually, up at Nambour, and on the Sunshine Coast. So it'd be good to have him in camp, and he's playing to the standard of this footy team.
Well, have you got Val on the wing, Billy?
Yep.
You've put obviously Selwyn on one wing, but you brought Dane in as a centre. What's the thinking behind that?
We just feel that that's the best make-up for the footy team. Obviously, we've been forced into a few changes, with Murray and Xavier Coates going out. So, the two wingers aren't in the team, from game 1 and 2. So, that forces you to shift things around, and we feel that, we know what Valentine Holmes can bring as a centre, but also as a winger. He's a world-class winger, and I think he'll fill that role real well.
Billy, you said to us back in January that you'd have to choose between having Caleb and Reece on the side, and there would be room for both of them. Is this what you've kind of always wanted?
I'm not sure. I always thought they'd love to be teammates, so now they get the opportunity to be teammates, and how we go about it, we'll build that over the next 9 days. But pretty excited for them both to get out there and get their footy on. We know what they bring. They're very exciting players, but at the same time, we need to get our footy right from the start. We can't be on the back foot like we were in game 2, and we need to raise the standards of our game to get there.
Billy, you went through a lot of his concussions mid last year.
Yep.
He's come through the other side of that. Do you think he can be a real expert?
Every time you go through adversity, it builds that resilience in you. I've been through it as a player, through injuries and whatnot, and setbacks and disappointments, and Caelan's, he's done that, and he's really matured as a person. He's matured as a footy player, and it showed yesterday, really, to have the best part of 3 months off and come back and perform the way he did. I dare say if Callum Ponga's not on the field yesterday, they may not get the 2 points. So he's that influential at the Knights, and I know what he brings to that footy team, and he was pretty influential in 2022 here as well. So, to have the strike of Reece and Caelan in the footy team, if we earn our footy, they'll be able to play their game.
This is the first time this camp, this Origin series, you've not had an open media session with all the players. Is there anything that we can read into that? Is it that you want to lock them away and get them focused? Because the Blues have said, they're the people's team by opening it up.
Yeah, look, I think you guys know, the access to our players. We don't get our full squad together until mid-afternoon today. They've got some commercial arrangements, with the QRL that they need to fulfil, and we've got to get some footy stuff done. So, you'll have access to the players, to the majority of the players throughout the 10-day camp, and we saw out at Toowoomba with 8,000 people, turning up, and what we give to the people of Queensland, the access we give to our players. You guys see that. You get to come down to Century Cove and watch our training sessions. So look, I feel the access is great. There's some circumstances around players coming into camp at different stages today that we couldn't quite get everyone available, but we do everything possible to get the voices of our players out to the people watching our games. So I don't think you read into it too much. I think it's a little bit unfair.
So a sign of panic stations or anything like that?
I wouldn't have thought so. Like I said, we try and give as much access as possible to our players. Like I said, you just get the opportunity to come down and watch us at Century Cove. We get a great turnout down there from people wanting to come and watch the boys train, and I think that's where the story is.
Do you feel it impacted their performance or preparation, or is that why you need to switch things up a little bit like this game?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Players talking to media is certainly not a factor in performance from game 2. That's the first time I've thought of that when you've asked that question.
Billy, you've played at Suncorp deciders. How big a factor is that for Queensland? I know the Blues have a terrible record here. Could that be a real factor for you guys?
Looking at the stadium right now, this is the home of State of Origin. This is where it was born back in 1980, and it's obviously a very special place, for this footy team. But it's made special by the performance of this footy team. One without the other, is irrelevant, and we need to make sure our performance is first class, and we can't have the same performance that we put in the first half in game 2. Otherwise, the atmosphere won't be what Suncorp Stadium can create. So it's important that we bring our end of the bargain, and the atmosphere will bring theirs.
It doesn't guarantee you a win, Billy, but you've won 9 of the last 10 series deciders.
Yeah.
You've got 10 players from the 2022 series decider in your squad, and you've got a packed Suncorp Stadium. You can't ask for too much more. Well,
it's a great.
Than that. It doesn't guarantee you a win. But
nothing's guaranteed in life. I'm going to tell you that right now. So
death is, but
at some stage. Nothing's guaranteed. You've got to earn everything, and we know the atmosphere that this creates, and it's going to be a great occasion Wednesday week. Everyone knows that the anticipation around it is going to be huge, and we're all excited for that. We need to bring our footy, and that's our priority. That's what we'll be going after in the next 9 days, and we bring that. It's going to be a great entertainment product.
How does this rate as a challenge for you as a coach?
If it's not a challenge, you're not trying hard enough. If there's not pressure involved, if there's not nerves, you're not trying hard enough. You're in your comfort zone. So you got to be outside your comfort zone, and you got to throw your hat in the ring, give it a go. So that's what the players will be doing. That's what we'll be doing. We'll be going after our best game of footy, and that's why we're here. It's important to us. Yeah.
How big a blow is losing Latrell for the Blues?
Look, when you get to this stage, quality goes out and quality comes in. They've just got different strengths. Bradman Best is a much different player to Latrell Mitchell. More dangerous in other areas of the game, less dangerous in some areas of the game. So, people bring different things to a footy team. We've got some outs, we've got some ins. Strengths go out, strengths come in. For a coach, you look at it like that, and you prepare like that. It's it's obviously a big talking point, the selection and forced changes and all that sort of stuff. But when you're in the grind of coaching and in the grind of preparing a team, you look at the strengths of players that you're playing against, and you're prepared to the best of your ability against them.
Billy, you're studying the game more than anyone. You said about 8 or 9 days ago after that game that you go away and you look at your own performance
Yes.
game too. How much have you watched that game? And obviously don't want to give us your tactics and
No.
take things away, but how much have you just watched it over and over again and kind of learned from that game?
Without doubt. I've looked at myself before I've looked at anyone else, and there's mistakes in my preparation, there's mistakes in my performance, and privately I'll be owning that, and I'll learn from it.
What Harry's actually dealing with?
What
Harry's actually dealing with? I think it's 100% like bumps and bruises.
Yeah, bumps and bruises, I think it is. That's my technical medical term. I only went to grade 11, so that's where I sit at.
The self-belief's not broken though, is it, Billy? When you've come back from a big loss before, like
Yep.
you lost in Perth, and then
Yep.
you came back, so the self-belief's not broken.
Yeah, you're not defined by one performance, are you? And although it'll be hurting the players, it's hurting the coaches, and all of Queensland would have been hurting from game 2. We would have loved to go down there and perform to the best of our ability, but we didn't quite do that, and New South Wales did. You got to give credit where credit is due, and they were near perfect in that first half, and they'd earned their points, they'd earned their win, and they deserved to win that game. It's 1-1 here at Suncorp, decider. I think both camps would be really excited about this preparation and going after their game, which should give us a great spectacle.
correct me if I'm wrong, Billy, but you might have said before the series that you could pick Reece Walsh and Callum Ponga in the same team, which was an interesting thing. Now it's happened. Is that pretty exciting for you as a coach to have that quality?
Yeah, I think so. I think I said that. I'm sure they'd love to be teammates at some stage, and it's probably right what you're saying. I won't correct you. Look, they're wonderful players, and I'm sure Reece Walsh is coming into camp this afternoon thinking I get the opportunity to play with Kalen Ponga, and probably vice versa. So yeah, I'm sure that part is really exciting. I'm sure it's exciting for Queenslanders knowing that those two guys are in their footy team. But those two guys aren't going to change what we got wrong in game 2. You know, that'll take a collective 17 and a real mindset to go after it and go after our game in our preparation. So we need to earn the right to bring them into the game.
And Billy, they've been giving it to you down south, saying you're a bit rattled, mate. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it. I was as disappointed as anyone after game 2, but you know, time heals everything, doesn't it? So
Do you plan to pick some Queenslanders?
we got 17. We got 20 actually. So it's all good.
This year, NRL on 9 is your one-stop shop for all footy.
That's right, Freddie. Not about the highlights. Action. 7 days a week.
Billy and Gus podcast, get that on your drive on the way home. Immortal Behaviour. Grab a seat on the couch for that. And, of course, my favourite, Freddie in the Own.
The best footy brains, the biggest games.
Don't trust the algorithm. Subscribe to NRL on 9 and get all your entertainment there.